Okay, so our next lesson for chapter 2, borrowing money, has to do with credit cards. So, a credit card is a card which allows people to buy items without cash. So, basically, in a way, it's a loan, and so that's why it fits into our chapter 2, borrowing money, because you're basically not using your own money to buy the item, you're using the credit card companies, and then you go about paying them back. So, when you buy something, a sales clerk uses it to charge the money needed to their bank account, so the person will buy it will pay later. So buying on credit is a trust system that you'll pay back after a period of time. So not anyone can just have a credit card. You need to apply for a credit card. You usually have to be a certain age to get one. Um, this day and age, a lot of things, you know, having one is really helpful to buy things online and to sign up for things online. A lot of things do need credit cards. So you just have to be careful not to sign up for a whole bunch of credit cards. Some have fees associated with just even having the credit card. So there's a yearly fee. And so you want to be careful of that. You also want to be careful of managing your credit in a way that's not going to set you up for not being able to get a car loan or a house loan later. Just if you have a bad credit for not paying off debt on a credit card. So if you pay whatever you've bought, if you pay that within a certain time limit, so you get your credit card bill, you pay that bill, you don't have to pay interest. So not everything you purchase on a credit card you'd need to pay interest on, as long as you paid off within the time limit. So if there's no outstanding balance from the previous month, the new balance is paid off in full. There would then be no interest charge. If you don't pay off the entire balance, you're always set to have to pay off a minimum. So it's either a percentage or a $10 charge basically. So you can pay off $10 of whatever you owe, or a percentage depending on how much money you owe on your credit card. If you don't do that, then they're going to hold your credit card and you're not going to be able to use it till you pay off that amount. So that's just making sure that you're continuing to pay off that balance, whatever you have. So making a single purchase with a credit card that does not have an outstanding balance is like a loan. So that's how we're going to treat it like. So to do our questions, we're going to kind of uncomplicate them and treat them like loans. The thing about credit cards are the interest rate is very high, and the interest is usually compounded daily. So using a credit card and treating it like a loan is the worst thing you possibly can do for your finances. Instead, if you had a balance on your credit card and you couldn't pay it off, it would be better to get one of the loans we talked about in section 1, with a lower interest rate, lower compounding, like with a bank or with a credit union, and pay off your credit card balance and then just work to pay the bank back. Just because the interest rate on credit cards are so high, it's really important not to carry a balance on your credit card. So let's look at the first question. So it says Ruby will use her credit card to buy a work of art for $2,000. She can afford monthly payments of $100. Which option is better? So option 1 is a bank loan with monthly payments. The interest rate is pretty high, so it's 8.9%, and that's compounded monthly. So she is purchasing this. She can only budget $100 a month, so we don't know how long this is going to take her to pay it off. We couldn't just say, well, $100 a month to get to 2,000. Well, how many months would that be? 20 months. It doesn't work that way, because remember, each time the interest is adding on each month. The next option is the store credit card. It gives an immediate rebate of $100 off her purchase, and it's got an 18.3% interest rate compounded daily. So a lot of times with credit cards, and this is one of the reasons I have the certain credit cards I do, is that they have incentive programs. So one of the kind of credit cards I have is a WestJet card. So with that, you get incentives like you get WestJet dollars, you get companion flights for a certain price. So incentives are another reason why a person may choose a certain credit card over another. So let's look at the monthly loan payment. So option A will do first. I'm going to get my marker. So option A, the interest rate is 8.9%. She's borrowing, so she's taking the 2,000, so that's a positive 2,000. She's making monthly payments, so she's giving that money to the bank, so that's giving it, so that's a negative, and we want her to pay off this loan eventually, so that's $0 at the end. She's doing monthly payments, so her PY is 12, and this says compounded monthly, so her CY would also be 12. Now, we don't know how long this is going to take, so if you look, all the variables filled in, that's the one we don't have. So we're going to solve for n for that. So putting this all into our calculator, my n is left blank. My interest is 8.9. I'm borrowing 2,000. Make sure it's a negative 100 for the payment, or else the money is going to go towards that. I got a PY of 12 and a CY of 12. So it looks here that I'm going to be calculating and finding, I've got 20, my n is 21.7, and I'm going to keep multiple variables because that's a partial payment. So it's like 21 full payments and then one partial payment that's about 73%, right? It's a decimal here, 0.728, so it's about 73% of the full payment. So it wouldn't be a full $100, that last payment, it would be like $73. So it just would be that in the final payment. She doesn't need to put a whole $100 down, okay? So to figure out how much that's going to cost her, we would be taking her $100 and multiplying by how many payments she's going to make. So that's the 21, 7, 2, 8, 7, 3, and so on. So looking at that option, it's going to basically, so this is 2 decimal places over, it's going to be $2,172.87 for that option. Okay, so she borrowed 2,000, she's paying back $2,172. So that option charges her $172 in interest. Option B, her interest rate is 18.3. This is compounded daily, which you see with a lot of credit cards. So the average is 365 days in a year. She's going to be doing the monthly payments again. So that's 12 payments of $100. Now when it comes to her PV, the artwork costs $2,000, but she gets a rebate of $100, and you can type that right into the PV. So that'd be 2,000 minus the 100. So really, she's only taking a loan out for $1,900 because she got $100 taken off of the purchase price. And lots of credit cards are like that. I know, like if you buy something at Home Depot and you use their credit card, you get 10% off usually of your purchase price or something like that. So lots of stores will offer, if you use their credit card, you get some kind of discount. So once again, we're trying to pay off this loan in so much of a time, and we want to do a monthly payment. So my interest is 18.3. So while the interest rate is higher, she's borrowing a little bit less. So we'll see how that affects the interest here. And then don't forget to change your CY to 375. So it looks like this way she needs to do, sorry, just calculating it. This way she needs to do 22 payments, or 22 full payments, and one partial payment of 639 for 8, and so on. So this way, $100 payments times the 22 payments, and then that partial payment of about 64%, or about $64 really. So then we're looking here of her having to pay back $2,263.95. So yeah, even though she's getting that rebate, in the end, the interest, that incentive is not worth the interest there for that question. Okay, question number 2, or example 2. Marcel's buying a new canoe. It's $4,000, so he needs to buy it on credit because he doesn't have the money. He's affording monthly payments of $350 each month. There's 2 options for him, and we're going to figure out what's the best option for him. So for the first one, the store credit card is offering a 16.8% interest. That's compounded daily. And he's getting an immediate rebate of 1.4% off the purchase price. So what I'm going to do in my PV, I'm going to have the 4,000 and then I'm going to subtract this discount. So the discount is 1.4%. So I'm going to take 4,000 and times it by that as a decimal. So that'd be 0.14. So that will, this piece will calculate the discount, and then if I have the subtraction in there, it's just going to take it right off. So you can do it like that, or you can just calculate it on the side what that discount would be, and then subtract it there. So because it's an immediate rebate, you take it off before you put that in your, you'd be like calculating the loan. It's not like at the end he saves that money. His payments are $350, so that's a negative $350, and we're paying off this loan, and he's doing monthly payments for this. The second option is a bank loan. It's compounded monthly, and once again, he's doing those monthly payments of $350. This has got a lower interest rate, but he gets that no incentive, so he's taking the $4,000 out. So really, it's is it better to have the incentive or not? So looking at this one, we've got a 16.8% interest rate. You have the 4,000 minus the 4,000 times, whoops, and just kind of double check you've got all your zeros and everything in that you need there. So that, taking off that 1.4%, it looks like he's saving $56 there. So his payment is $350, so it's a negative $350. He's got 12 payments a year, and he's compounding 365 times a year. So for my N, I'm looking at 12.35746, etc. So those 12 full payments and then that partial payment. So Party is asking how much he would end up paying in total. So I'd be taking my 350 and multiplying it by how many payments I would be making here. So since he doesn't have to make 13 full payments, we wouldn't round up our N. We would keep it as it is to do our calculation. So 350 times 12.35746. The more decimal places you get, the more you keep, the more accurate your answer will be. So we're looking at $4,325.11 there for that option. For option B, I'm looking at an 8.8% interest, no discount, so straight $4,000, and just a difference of compounded monthly there. So there it looks like I'm making 11.97975, etc. Payments. So that will once again be the 350 times the 11.97975, etc. Okay, so out of my window, it's the 350 times 11.97975. I'm looking at $4,192 in the end for that. Okay, so how much interest would he pay for each option? So since for the first one, he's borrowing $4,000. So we're taking the $4,000 off of, because that's how much he needs, so off of the price here. So for option A, if you want to just do it in your head calculations to take off the $4,000, it looks like it would be $325.11. For option B, taking off the $4,000, it would be $192.91. So how long will it take him to pay off the balance for each? So remember, your PY has been multiplied by your N, so your N's not counting in your years, your N's counting in months. So for option A, it's going to be 12-month full month payment and then an extra partial payment, so that would be 13 months. And then for option B, we're looking at 11 full payments and then one really almost full payment. So that's going to be 12 months of payments. So it takes them a little while longer with option A for sure there. Okay, so next question. Okay, so Josh wants to charge a new sound system to his brand new credit card. He's borrowing $2,600. He can't afford to pay it off in the 23 days he gets, so he's going to treat it like a loan. The interest rate is 14.5%. He can only afford $110 monthly payments. He's trying to pay this off as fast as possible with these monthly payments, and this is compounded daily. So how long is this going to take him? We're solving for our n, so put all your values in. Looks like this is going to give us an n value of 28.033286, etc. So it's going to take him about 28 payments, one really small partial payment at the end. So answering the questions, how long? So, and remember that's months. So if they were asking you specifically how many months, so this would be 28 full and then one partial, but that would still be a month. So you would round up for that because technically you'd still be paying off in that final month. So 29 months of payments, and then how much did you pay all together? So we can take that partial amount and multiply by the $110 payment to figure out how much in the end did this sound system cost him. So 28.033286 times $110. It's looking like it's going to cost him $3,083, or sorry, $3,083.66 in the end. So if the question asks like how much interest, you just need to take that and subtract off the $2,600 that the loan cost him. Okay, so now you got a couple credit card questions to practice there. So with credit cards, it's just like a comparison. It's just another way to take out a loan. Okay, have a great day.